From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring
This is Atlantic Television Network. Welcome to Global News at 9. First, the highlights. Police arrest deposed spiritualist with human skull in Edo. Adeleke probes shoddy execution of projects in Osun State. Deputy Speaker calls for review of JAMB report. FG plans to drill oil barrels from Bauchi, Gombe. Tinubu meets Pope Leo XIV after the inauguration mass. Bielsa Queens players rewarded for title win. Davido Asher perform at National Sports Festival ceremony.
from the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all the sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economic, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. On 18.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
you human traffickers.
Honorable they are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
Operatives of the Edo State Police Command have arrested the deposed spiritualist Ohen of Okonrumi community in Oredo local government area of Vokam Igbinovia, Kelvin, and 4 others with a suspected human skull. The command also disclosed that the suspects were arrested with several arms and ammunition, and suspects arrested alongside the embattled priest are Osarodion Omorege, Charles Ota, over alleged land grabbing, demolition of people's property, amongst others. The public relations officer of the command, Moses Yamu, confirmed the arrest of the embattled priest and other suspects in a statement in Benin City on Sunday. Yamu said the suspects were arrested by operatives of the Command, Intelligence and Rapid Response Squad alongside the Anti-Kidnapping Squad on Saturday, May 17, 2025, and listed items recovered from the premises of the deposed spiritualist when searched to include suspected human skulls, 2 AK-47 rifles with breech numbers TH-4782 and 6683 respectively. Others are 2 single-barrel locally made shotguns, 3 empty AK-47 magazines, 1 OFM magazine, and 11 rounds of 7.62mm ammunition, adding that investigation was ongoing to recover other arms and ammunition in possession of the spiritualist and Commissioner of Police in charge of the command. Monday Agbonika assured the general public that the command would not be deterred or distracted in its resolve to rid the state of all forms of crimes and criminality. Edo State Police Command has arrested a 31-year-old woman identified as Freda Omakone for alleged scamming. Moses Yamu, the spokesman of the command, who disclosed this to newsmen on Sunday in a statement in Benin City, said the suspect was arrested for alleged multiple scams and luxury boutiques within Edo State. The command's image maker said the suspect's modus operandi was to purchase goods and claim their items. He said the suspect, who had since confessed to the crime, would soon be charged in court and urged members of the public, especially business owners, to be cautious when transacting business and to always confirm payments before handing over goods to customers. Operatives of the Tiger Base Division of the Imo State Police Command have arrested one of the traditional chiefs laying claim to the Eze Royal Stool of Eziama Ikeduru Autonomous Community, Chris Obasi. Obasi's sister, Adeze Francis, who confirmed the development, said the police operatives arrested him around at his residence in Graceland Estate, Aja, Lagos. Cousin, whom she accused of using every means possible to prevent the state government from recognizing Obasi as the rightful traditional ruler. The lady also said her brother was dragged to the magistrate court over the kingship tussle some months ago, and the case was scheduled for Friday, adding that the presiding magistrate died, leading to an adjournment till May 27, 2025. Another member of the family who pleaded anonymity also corroborated Francis's claims of terrorism financing. Efforts to get the Imo State Police Command Public Relations Officer, Henry Okoye, for a reaction proved abortive. Anambra State Governor Professor Chukwuma Soludo has condemned the killing of Ifeanyi Lukasia, a lawyer and president general of the Aguleri community. Lukasia was killed by unidentified assailants alongside his client on Thursday, May 15, near Agulunanka boundary in Orumba North local government area of the state, while returning home after a court session. Soludo, in his reaction, described the killing as senseless and unfortunate, vowing to take the matter with the utmost seriousness, working with security agencies to ensure that the fleeing killers are caught and justice is served promptly. A statement by his press secretary, Christian Aburime, on Sunday said Soludo, in his reaction to the unfortunate incident, after being fully briefed, did not only condemn the cowardly act of the murderers, but also express his deep condolences to the family and friends of the late Lukasia, as well as the people of Aguleri who have been devastated by this tragic loss of a man widely praised as a tireless advocate of peace. The governor, however, urged residents to remain vigilant and continue to cooperate fully with the security agencies as the state worked tirelessly to eliminate the scourge of violence in the state. Nigeria Customs Service Federal Operations Unit Zone A, Ikeja, says it intercepted 7 20-feet containers of contraband worth 1.5 billion naira between April 23, 2025 and to seized contrabands. To journalists, said the various contrabands were seized within the Lagos State metropolis and within the period under review, adding that the command collected a total sum of 20.7 million through the man notices where shortfalls and are identified, and also conducted auction sales of seized perishable goods. Speaking on the seized containers, he said in a significant achievement in the ongoing battle against illicit trade, the team acted on credible intelligence such items within the Lagos metropolis. Given details of the seizures, Shuaibu said a container carrying used tires and vehicles was intercepted, and the unit has bolstered their strategies to secure Nigeria's economic saboteurs. According to him, within the period under review, the unit has inflicted substantial losses on smugglers through the interception of other illegal items, adding that 4 suspects were arrested in connection with the various seizures, which has a total duty paid value of 1.5 billion naira. Shuaibu reiterated that the service remains resolute in its effort to combat smuggling, counterfeit products and other forms of illicit trade, adding that the achievement testified to the unit's unwavering dedication to protecting the economy and the citizens. Lagos State Government has reaffirmed its commitment to disability inclusion across its policies and development programs. The State Commissioner for Youth and Social Development, Mobolaji Ogunlede, who expressed the commitment at the 27th Annual Sports Day of the Federal Nigeria Society for the Blind, held recently at Yaba College of Technology, said the theme Champions of Inclusivity made the event featured a lineup of athletic competitions including march past, long jump, goal ball, shot put, tug of war, rounder game, skittle game, and the 50-meter race. Participants, grouped into red and blue houses, thrilled spectators with inspires at the Lagos State chapter of the National Youth Council of Nigeria. Ogunlede said inclusive development remained a cornerstone of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu's administration, and that the state was prioritizing the execution of a road project, insisting that a poor job was done by the contractor. Reacting in a statement, the spokesperson to the governor, Olawale Rashid, said senior officials from the Ministry of Rural Development, Ministry of Works, and Osun Rural Access and Mobility Project were acting on the complaint, adding that the officials had visited the community for an on-the-spot assessment. The statement also said the team conveyed Governor Adeleke's directive for an immediate review of the work done on the road while directing remedial action in line with best practices. And the team also assured the community that apart from a rework, the governor is also looking into other pressing needs of the community. Nelson Adepoyigi, who was kidnapped a few days ago, has been killed by his abductors. Adepoyigi was kidnapped last Monday while parking his vehicle at his residence in Ifon, and following the kidnap of the APC chairman, the abductors had demanded 100 million naira ransom, but after a series of negotiations and pleas, it was reduced to 5 million naira. Adepoyigi was killed after two persons from his community in Ifon volunteered to deliver the 5 million naira ransom, but they were also captured by the kidnappers, who insisted that an additional 30 million naira ransom be paid before the release of the three victims. However, the two volunteers were released by the kidnappers, with sources within the community disclosing that the kidnappers confirmed that the APC chairman had been marked to be killed by those purportedly behind his abduction. While confirming the development, the chairman of Ose local government, Kolapo Ojo, lamented that security challenges in the area are now in a critical situation. Meanwhile, the police in Ondo State is yet to speak on the matter. Ondo State Police Command has rescued the kidnapped victim and arrested no fewer than 12 suspected criminals at different locations across the state. According to the command, the suspects were allegedly involved in crimes such as kidnapping, stealing, armed robbery, and courtesy, among others. Speaking on the developments at his office in Akure, the state capital, the State Police Commissioner, Mr. Wilfred Afolabi, said the suspects were arrested following the intelligence gathering of the command. Afolabi said, the suspect was receiving treatment for gunshot wounds at the state specialist hospital, while efforts were ongoing to track and apprehend the fleeing suspects who escaped with injuries, adding that some of the other suspects had confessed to the commission of the crimes, while urging the residents of the state to remain vigilant and also report suspicious activities and cooperate with security agencies. Operatives of the Nasarawa State Criminal Investigation Department have arrested a notorious criminal suspect identified as Abashe Gizo at Chinge Market in Lafia, the state capital. According to a statement released by SP Rahman Nansel, the command spokesperson, the arrest followed an intelligence-led operation based on credible and actionable information, adding that a male of no fixed address had been on the police wanted list for a prolonged period over his alleged involvement in kidnapping, armed robbery, and cattle rustling across the region. According to police authorities, the suspect was successfully apprehended on Wednesday after a sustained manhunt, and during interrogation, Gizo confessed to his involvement in several criminal activities and subsequently led investigators to his hideout in Rowan Baka village, located in Doma local government area. At the hideout, operatives recovered an AK-47 rifle along with a magazine believed to have been used in multiple criminal operations. This is coming after the recent apprehension of Fatima Salisu, who was intercepted while attempting to transport a large cake of ammunition from Doma to Katsina State, allegedly meant for criminal networks. Commissioner of Police CP Shetima Jauro Mohammed commended the efforts of the SCID team and reiterated the command's commitment to crushing criminal syndicates and protecting lives and property in the state. Unidentified gunmen suspected to be bandits have attacked Waje community in Danko Wasago local government area of Kebbi State, killing no fewer than 15 farmers and injuring at least 3 others. The state governor, Nasser Idris, represented by his deputy, Umar Tafida, during a condolence visit to the residents of the district head of Waje, expressed sympathy over the tragic incident and announced a donation from the state government to support the victims' families. According to him, the gesture was a modest effort by the government to assist the bereaved families and the injured during his difficult time, and also assured the community that the state government would take necessary steps to address insecurity and ensure farmers can safely return to their farmlands. Speaking, the district head of Waje, Bala Dambaba, lauded the state government for the visit and the financial assistance, describing it as timely and impactful, adding that the Danko Wasago area shares borders with Niger, Zamfara and Sokoto states, making it vulnerable to attacks, and appealed for enhanced security measures to block the entry points used by the attackers. On his part, the chairman of Danko Wasago local government, Alhaji Husseini Aliyu Bena, confirmed that 15 farmers were killed and 3 others injured during the attack. Katsina State Police Command has arrested 4 suspected drug traffickers in the state. A statement by the command's spokesman, Abubakar Sadiq, on Sunday in Katsina said the suspects were Kofa Guga garage in Katsina Metropolis while attempting to smuggle some illicit drugs to Maradi in neighboring Niger Republic. The spokesperson said the suspects were arrested based on credible intelligence, and the suspects had, during interrogation, confessed to the Commission of Justice. The Commissioner of Police, Katsina State Command, CP Bello Shehu, has commended the operatives for a job well done and reaffirms the command's commitment towards combating drug-related offenses in the state, as well as other forms of crime and criminality. Taraba State Governor Agbu Kefas has approved the recertification of all certificates of occupancy across the state. The initiative, according to the governor, is part of the government's efforts to ensure all land documents are current and comply with updated regulations. A statement by the Director General of Tajis, Dr. Joshua Mack, on Sunday said the exercise, which will run for a period of 6 months, will be conducted by the Taraba Geographic Information System. The statement said property owners are required to visit the Tajis headquarters, formerly the Bureau for Land and Survey, to complete the recertification process, and also stressed on the importance of compliance, warning that late fees will be imposed on those who fail to recertify within the 6-month window. Niger Delta Power Holding Company has declared partnership with the National Agency for Science and Engineering Infrastructure and Higher Technologies to deliver a 20-megawatt embedded solar power facility to the Chalawa Industrial Area in Kano State. The initiative was formally set in motion during a high-level site assessment visit led by the Managing Director CEO of NDPHC, Jennifer Adihije. A statement by the NDPHC's Head Corporate Communications and External Relations, Emmanuel Ojo, revealed this in Abuja. Adihije was accompanied by key executives, including the Executive Director of Generation, Kasim Abdullahi, and the Executive Director of Corporate Services, Omorege Ogbedi Ihama, and the team first visited the headquarters of Kano Electricity Distribution Company, where they held strategic talks with its managing director, CEO Dr. Abu Jimeta. He said both organizations reaffirmed their commitment to deepening collaboration for improved electricity access across Kano and its environs. Also present during the tour were representatives of Naseni and Higher Technologies, who are collaborating with NDPHC to execute the solar power project, which is targeted at supporting small and medium-sized enterprises and large-scale manufacturers in Chalawa. She acknowledged the delay in implementation but clarified that the period was spent mobilizing credible development partners to ensure a cost-effective and sustainable solution, and assured manufacturers that NDPHC remains committed to delivering embedded generation solutions that bypass the traditional grid system to provide dedicated power to industrial hubs. Zamfara State Governor Dauda Lawal has reaffirmed his administration's commitment to providing quality and affordable health care to the people of the state. The governor made this pledge while inaugurating the newly remodeled and equipped General Hospital in Anka. The fully renovated facility now boasts of upgraded structures and state-of-the-art medical equipment, reflecting the government's dedication to enhancing healthcare delivery. A statement by the governor's spokesperson, Suleiman Idris, outlined the revamped facilities to include the GOPD, Old Admin Block, Male and Female Wards, Pharmacy Block, and a new gate fence, adding that a link corridor connects the female ward, X-ray and theatre block, stressing that the new constructions feature accident and emergency units, a laboratory, eye and dental clinics, and maternity old lab wards. The statement further said, the inauguration of the remodeled General Hospital Anka marks a significant milestone in Lawal's agenda to revolutionize Zamfara's healthcare system. You're watching the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. We'll be back after this break. Please stay with us. Agala, I made this story where this people then bring to the way whenever God prays this morning.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economic, sports, and documentaries. So catch all your bets on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. On ATM.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
You human trafficker.
Honorable they are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
actually said I could allow it. Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Now to the rest of our stories. Senate Committee on Power has raised concerns over the liquidity crisis bedeviling the power sector, lamenting that tariff shortfalls have indicated that the government is owing a whopping sum of 200 billion naira to generating and distribution companies every month. The committee's chairman, Senator Eyinaya Abaribe, who disclosed this while fielding questions from journalists during the retreat held in Ikot Ekpene, Akwa Ibom State, expressed worries that the government is yet to make any payments to the distribution companies this year, 2025, indicating that the country is already indebted by 800 billion naira, in addition to previous indebtedness amounting to over 3 trillion naira. Minister of Power Adebayo Adelabo, while giving an overview of the power sector reforms, highlighted that the achievements of the President Bola Tinubu-led administration, especially in the area of increase in megawatt generation, and also listed the challenges of the sector that to include funding and vandalization of energy equipment. In his remarks, Akwa Ibom State Governor Omo Eno, who was represented by his deputy, Senator Akon Eyakenyi, described small and medium enterprises as the engine of economic growth in most societies, noting that only steady electricity supply can unlock the sector, and expressed the hope that the caliber of resource persons at the retreat will ensure critical issues bedeviling the power sector is addressed. Speaker of the House of Representatives Tajuddin Abbas has predicted a wave of high-profile defections from opposition parties to the ruling All Progressives Congress in the coming months, while attributing the trend to increasing public confidence in the party. Abbas, who disclosed this during the APC Northwest Zonal Stakeholders meeting held in Kaduna, said the APC had recently welcomed several prominent opposition figures, including Delta State Governor Sheriff Oborewori, his predecessor, Senator Ifeanyi Okowa, and the entire PDP political structure in Delta State. He said numerous federal lawmakers, primarily from the People's Democratic Party and Labour Party, have also crossed over to the APC, many citing internal crisis within their former parties. According to Abbas, the developments reflect the growing appeal of the APC under the leadership of President Bola Tinubu, while the speaker highlighted that since the 2023 general elections, the APC has secured governorships in 19 states and holds the majority in both chambers of the National Assembly. He also said recent defections from lawmakers across Kano, Osun, Kebbi, Delta and Edo State have brought the total number of defectors in the House to 25. A statement issued by his special advisor, Musa Krishi, quoted Abbas as saying, at the gubernatorial level, Governor Sheriff Oborewori and his predecessor, Ifeanyi Okowa, have joined the party, and many more high-profile defections are coming in the near future. To further reflect the growing trust Nigerians have in the party and in President Tinubu's leadership. Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives on Benjamin Kalu is calling for immediate review of all available technical and independent reports following the glitches experienced in the 2025 JAM examination. Honorable Kalu, who addressed journalists in Abuja following the mass outcry that followed the release of the 2025 JAM results and the subsequent technical review, said the demand will not only ensure transparency but decisive action to restore faith in the educational system. The Deputy Speaker, who disclosed the technical review results available to him, said the critical system patch is essential for the new shuffling and validation protocols to deploy the server clusters servicing 157 centers in the southeast and Lagos. He said the exercise should include those from third-party educational technology companies that have gathered candidate-level data to fully understand the scope and implications of the crisis.
Including those from third-party educational technology companies that have gathered candidate-level data to fully understand the scope and implication of the crisis. Only by triangulating internal findings with external audits can we ensure that no affected candidate is left behind. Secondly, independent system audit is my second recommendation. Now that the rescheduled exams have concluded, I urge JAM to commission an independent, transparent audit of its entire examination infrastructure. This audit should involve external professionals, system engineers, and academic measurement experts to scrutinize every aspect of the CBT engine: question delivery, answer validation, and result collation processes. Number 3, recommendation: safeguarding affected candidates. It is imperative that candidates from the Southeast and Lagos who have actually borne the brunt of these failures are not further disadvantaged. JAMB must provide a clear, accessible mechanism for remark and appeal, especially for those dissatisfied with the hurried receipt or who experienced technical difficulties once more during the second sitting. Furthermore, coordination with WAEC and other examination bodies must continue to ensure candidate-level result data for independent verification and open its system.
Institutions, bosses and directors of procurement in Lagos. Alausa said the federal government was determined to streamline tertiary education for improved efficiency and value. Alausa said a new policy direction barring institutions with fewer than 2,000 students from accessing funding from TET Fund was underway, adding that the engagement session with heads of Southern Zone beneficiary institutions of TET Fund, including directors of procurement, was part of efforts to review the 2024/2025 intervention guidelines and promote more transparent and collaborative funding practices. Alausa also said the government was cutting down on foreign scholarships in favor of strengthening local academic institutions. Adding centers will also create jobs, both academic and non-academic, and help build institutional capacity across the country. Speaking at the event, the Executive Secretary of TET Fund, Sonny Ekono, said the agency was shifting toward a more sustainable model of funding that reduces reliance on government subventions and to encourage public-private partnerships, particularly in areas such as hostel development, innovation parks, and service facilities, and one that institutes risk being delisted from the list of TET Fund beneficiaries. Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has debunked speculation that he may challenge President Bola Tinubu in the 2027 election if the People's Democratic Party zones its presidential ticket to the south. He reaffirmed his loyalty to Tinubu's administration, declaring that he had no intention of contesting against the man he was serving. Reaffirming his support for Tinubu, Wike said there was currently no strong opposition figure capable of unseating the president, and also addressed the lingering political feud in his home state, especially between him and suspended Governor Siminalayi Fubara. He blamed unnamed political actors for orchestrating the crisis between him and Fubara and accused external forces of manipulating Fubara and vowed to continue countering them until they are politically neutralized. Ahead of the 2027 presidential election, the All Progressives Congress in the Northwest Zone has endorsed and passed a vote of confidence on President Bola Tinubu. The endorsement followed the stakeholders meeting comprising all governors of the region, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, the Deputy Senate President, as well as former governors from the zone. The National Chairman of APC, Chairman of State Chapters, State and Federal Legislatures, as well as ministers, heads of federal agencies, including senior political appointees, were also at the meeting which held in Kaduna on Saturday. The zone, in a communique read by the APC Northwest Coordinating Governor Uba Sani after the meeting, reaffirmed its loyalty to the APC and pledged full support for what it called President Tinubu's vision to deliver prosperity, equity, and lasting change for all Nigerians. According to the stakeholders, major infrastructure projects are being completed or are underway across the Northwest, marking a new era of development in the region, while the meeting pointed out that APC continued to grow in strength, unity, and national appeal due to Nigerians' appreciation of the president and the APC governors. Chairman of the Police Service Commission, DIG Hashimu Agongo, has warned that the promotion fixed by the Commission is not a do-or-die exercise, insisting that the Commission will deal with anyone trying to compromise its integrity. Ikechukwu Ani, the Commission's head of press and public relations, who stated this in a statement, said the Departmental Selection Board, DSB, interview for inspectors due for promotion to the next rank of unconfirmed assistant. Superintendent of Police ASP2 begins tomorrow in all the 17 police zonal command headquarters across the Federation. He also advised that police officers scheduled for the promotion interview should be prepared to face the interview and panel and earn their promotion, adding that promotion and its processes in the Nigeria Police Force will always be based on merit and availability of vacancies. The PSC chairman said the commission is committed to building a new police culture where merit, competence, and ability to innovate are paramount, especially in the area of intelligence policing, and advised the candidates to have confidence in the system and allow for a smooth and credible exercise. According to the statement, the promotion interview will be jointly supervised by the Commission and senior police officers, just as honorable commissioners in the Commission are expected to monitor the exercise in their geopolitical zones to ensure that the credibility of the exercise is not diluted. And now to our business news. Federal government says it is planning to commence drilling more barrels of oil with the renewal of exploration licenses in Bauchi and Gombe states. The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Oil, Lokobiri Henikin, who disclosed this, said the federal government has renewed its licenses for the exploration of oil in the Kolmani area of Bauchi during the groundbreaking ceremony for the construction of the permanent site of the Bauchi Oil and Gas Academy at Akaleri local government area. He said the institution was significant in shaping the future of Nigeria's energy industry. Speaking at that occasion, Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed acknowledged the support of the federal government in developing oil and gas manpower in the state and appreciated former President Muhammadu Buhari for the discovery and flagging of oil and gas exploration in Bauchi, and also commended the commitment of the administration of President Bola Tinubu. Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project has asked the Group Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, Mr. Bayo Ojulari, to immediately account for and explain the whereabouts of the 500 billion naira oil revenue the company allegedly failed to remit to the Federation accounts between October and December 2024. In a letter dated May 17, 2025, and signed by its Deputy Director, Kolawole Oluwadari, SERAP cited recent revelations by the World Bank, which showed that out of 1.1 trillion earned from crude oil sales and other income in 2024, only 600 billion was remitted by the NNPCL, leaving a staggering 500 billion naira unaccounted for. The organization is demanding full investigation and recovery of the missing funds and has threatened legal action should the company fail to act within 7 days, and also urged Ojulari to identify and surcharge those responsible for the missing funds and hand them over to anti-graft agencies for investigations and prosecution. SERAP warned that the alleged disappearance of such a large sum has serious implications for economic development, poverty alleviation, and the provision of basic public services at a time of national hardship, adding that the failure of the NNPCL to uphold transparency and accountability standards has worsened the country's fiscal crisis. SERAP is And now to our international tidbits. Latest Naturalizations Annual Flow Report from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security shows that United States granted citizenship to 34,289 Nigerians between 2020 and 2022. The data is also drawn from the electronic case files that U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Service used to track each application from fingerprinting to the oath ceremony, indicating that 8,930 Nigerians became naturalized citizens between October 2019 and September 2020. The 3 years add up to 34,289 new Nigerian American citizens, making up around 3% of all 248,553 Africans who naturalized in that period, and more Nigerians were naturalized within that period, followed by the DRC, whose naturalizations almost doubled in 2022 to about 6,000, and other African applicants from Ethiopia to Ghana, Kenya, and beyond are bundled into the all other countries category. Overall, naturalizations of Africans jumped 40% between 2021 and 2022, the highest increase per region recorded, while across all regions, Mexico accounted for 326,237 naturalizations from the 3 years, as well as India and others. President Bola Tinubu shook hands with the newly installed Bishop of Rome and the new leader of the Roman Catholic Church, His Holiness Pope Leo XIV, today, Sunday. The U.S. Pontiff shook hands with several world leaders in St. Peter's Square after the inauguration Mass on Sunday, and while shaking hands with the Pope, Tinubu had a brief conversation with him before moving away. Other world leaders who shook hands with the Pope include U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance and Ukrainian Volodymyr Zelensky, among others. This is coming after Tinubu joined other world leaders in Rome, Italy, on Sunday for the installation Mass marking the beginning of the pontificate of His Holiness Pope Leo XIV, in front of dignitaries including U.S. Vice President Vance and Ukraine's leader Volodymyr Zelensky. He humbly calling for the Church to be a transformational force in a world of division and hatred. and Ashe have performed at the opening ceremony of the 2025 National Sports Festival. The singers performed today, Sunday, May 18th, the NSF opening ceremony in Abeokuta, Ogun State. Bukola Olupade, the Director General of the National Sports Commission, said Olympics and the festival must portray that global feel is in both competition and organization. This is coming after the 22nd festival, tagged Gateway Games, was officially declared open by Vice President Kashim Shettima. And that's the global news for tonight. But before we go, another look at the major stories. Police arrest the post-spiritualist with human skull in Edo. Adeleke probes shoddy execution of projects in Osun State. Deputy Speaker calls for review of JAM report. FG plans to drill oil barrels from Bauchi and Gombe. Tinubu meets Pope Leo the 14th after inauguration mass. Bayelsa Queens players rewarded for title win. Davido Asher performed at National Sports Festival ceremony. I am Francis Neka. Thank you for watching. You can follow us on our social media platforms, on Twitter at Atlantic TV Net, on Facebook and YouTube at Atlantic Television Network, on Instagram at Atlantic TV Network. Peace and unity are the pathways to progress. To have an amazing night rest.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economic, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today.